Hello, it's been a long time since we've last done this. How are you guys?
Well, all right. But yeah, would be better if Leeds actually did their jobs properly.
How are you feeling? Yeah,
just a bit. I don't know. I don't even feel like sad. I just feel angry. Do you know what I mean? Just angry.
Thing is, what I was just saying to Tash earlier, Hannah, was that I've been resigned to relegation for ages. Like, you've accepted that fact. Like, fine, we're going to have championship football. But I was really angry today because I just thought you've given no fight whatsoever. Like, it looks like you're just not bothered. Like you don't help yourselves out of a sticky situation. It literally got put into our hands to say that we can actually at least try and get out of this scrap. And it's just like you just rolled over.
Well, I'll actually bring up a stat about that, and it says Leeds have lost 25 points from leading positions. We've only won 2 of the past 9 league matches in which they've opened up scoring. I think it just shows, doesn't it? Considering like under Bielsa, it was like the opposite, wasn't it? It was like if we went up, there was no way we were losing.
I've seen
stats are quite different now, aren't they? In every way.
I've seen something on Twitter just literally about 5 minutes ago. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Is it Ollie who put on, since Marcelo Bielsa's gone? I mean, I'm not trying to bring up the Marcelo Bielsa brigade here. Do you know what I mean? It drives me insane that. But we've won 11 games in a year and 3 months.
Just mad, isn't it? I think that's why it hurts so much. Yeah, because you get used to that winning and everything. You know, we had 3 great seasons under Bielsa, and you know, obviously it did go a bit tits up and everything, but you know, it's just from one extreme to the other. It's just so depressing at the minute. But for me, it's not just about how the team are. I just think it's just generally toxic at the minute. I don't think the players are helping themselves on social media, which not condone, like, you know, death threats and everything is just bang out of order. I don't need to bring all that shit into it. But then I feel like there's just such a divide at the minute between players and the fans, and just that professionalism as well has just gone out the window. And I think if you think, I don't know if that goes from the top, you know, Radwazani, how he's acted on Twitter sometimes, and then how Orta has been like saying suck the ball and all that, like when he was there. And then that's just kind of gone down to the players' level as well, hasn't it? You know, Ayling making digs at fans and not in the right way. Like, he should have said specifically, you know, to the fans, thank you to the fans that support us, not to the trolls online. Do you know what I mean? Like, just say it how it is. You need to define.
Like, I don't even know. Like, I understand he's defending his mate, but at the same time, like, was it actually necessary to say something? Because the police are involved. The police and the club are solving it, and are completely.
I've already made a statement. Yeah.
Yeah, the club have made a statement. Why do you need to put your 2 pence worth in?
Yeah.
I think with the Bamford thing, it went too far, and you know, I do think he deserves a lot of criticism. I personally do, but I think it did go too far. But it is always like a minority, isn't it? And it's all, you know, it's just people on Twitter and stuff like that. But I do think a lot of people protect Bamford, and they always live off that first year back in the Premier League, which in my opinion was a complete fluke. But I don't agree in any way of, you know, this death threats to his wife or to his daughter or whatever. But I do feel like the minute you like say anything negative towards Bamford, it's always like, oh, but hang on, he did score so many goals in 17, 18, 19 goals in the first league back in the Premier League. Like, yeah, but it doesn't matter. That's his job. He's a striker. He gets paid 70 grand a week to do that. Do you know what I mean? And I do feel like people just jump on the protection of him all the time. Not like I agree with what's gone on, because that's totally wrong. But yes, he might hold the ball up well, which yes he does, and I think we've seen that today. But I just feel like his finishing is absolutely shocking, and that is a big part of the reason why we're in this mess.
I think it's like 13 big missed chances this season, isn't it? You know, and if you think, even in that, I think that first season back, wasn't it like he had 90 chances as well? So it's not, you know, he was getting the service. I think if you put any striker in that team, they would have got that many goals. You know, he didn't. I agree with you. I think he holds up well. You know, the way he used to chase down and everything like that. And I don't mind him as a number 10. I think he does quite a few good assists too. But at the end of the day, if you're not putting it, what gets us points is goals. You're not scoring. So, you know, and then to take that penalty, everything like that, just.
But why did he take that penalty? Why did he take? I mean, it was last week. I was there, and the minute he picked up the ball, you could feel how negative like everyone around us went, because we all just knew he was going to miss it. And I'm just like, it's like the side before self thing, isn't it? It's like, it's not the let's make Patrick Bamford feel better show. It's, you know, we need to stay in the Premier League for multiple reasons. And I just feel like, why on earth was Rodrigo not on the end of that?
Well, this is it. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Sorry, I just switched it around. When I put comments up, it was hiding your face, Hannah. So I just switched it around.
I mean, I guess, you know, with what Sam Allardyce said about just leaving it like normal, just, like, you'd think, wouldn't you, that you're coming in to save us from relegation. You should be saying, right, our top goal scorer should be the one taking penalties, which is Rodrigo, you know. So regardless of whether that previous system where if Rodrigo missed a goal, it's Bamford. We know that he got a load of crap on social media, so he left social media. He is not mentally in the right state to be taking on a pressured situation like that. So therefore, it should have been Rodrigo, regardless of whether that system was still in place or not. It should be Rodrigo taking it. So
yeah. So if we do go down, would I say if it's pretty much certified we're going down, isn't it? But if we do go down, would you keep examining, or do you want to see someone else in? I'll go with Rhiannon first.
Oh God, I really don't know, if I'm being honest, because obviously we know what. Sorry. Because we know his record previously, but I don't know. Is it what we need, especially with the type of football that, because we know Sam Allardyce is known for? Do we take the risk and change it up, and then try and get another manager in that can play more attacking football, a bit more Bielsa-ish? I know, but you know, it's hard to judge. But whoever does become our manager, whether it is Sam or whether it's someone else, they need to have full control. I'm sorry, they can't be told what players they can get and what players they can't get. And we need to have a decent director of football come in as well. That's if we actually get one. Do you know what I mean? Because
I'll just dig this up.
A whole load of players in to actually give us the best shot of going back up.
Yeah. So I just read this out. It says, if Leeds go down, I'll be sad. Our Newcastle 18 months ago, passionate friends deserve better. So thank you for that. Hannah, what was your thoughts?
I don't think he'll stay anywhere, personally. I think the bloke was given an impossible task, in my opinion. Don't understand why on earth he didn't come in when we had like Bournemouth and Leicester that were winnable games. I think the problems lie a lot deeper than the manager. He's Sam Allardyce, and he's, you know, it's what he is, but I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest. I just feel like the problems lie so much further than whoever comes in. And I think
It's strange,
like
you know, you've got 3/4 managers that have, you know, done nothing really.
Can't always be the managers, do you know what I mean? Marcelo Bielsa, in my opinion, I know we go back to him all the time, but it's because it was the dreamland, wasn't it? But I do feel like he was sort of just holding together a bit of a sinking ship. And I think now he's gone, it's just all been breaking apart. I don't know. I haven't even thought about the manager thing because, like I say, I just want the board to go personally. But then again, grass isn't always greener on the other side, isn't it? It could all. I don't know. I don't even know what I think. Not happy.
I think Jack said it in his post-match as well, but I'm not keen on 49ers either. I don't think they'll. I heard someone say, you know, out in America that they don't really invest well either. I mean, there was rumours about Bielsa coming back in, wasn't there? Obviously, not anymore. Yeah, I just don't.
Bielsa is never, ever, ever going to come back to Leeds because as much as we would all love him to, he's such a proud man. And I don't blame him for not coming back. He's a proud man. He's never going to come back to Leeds. And I just think, you know, I look at the Brighton situation with Graham Potter. Well, they've just gone on and done wonders. So why didn't we do that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, me and Jack were saying exactly the same thing, and we were just saying, just look how great they're run, like how great the club's run compared to us, and that's where it goes back to what you said. It just lies deeper than just the manager. You can just see the players are not gelling well together. It's like they just don't even know each other, don't like each other. That's the sense of feeling I get. When Bielsa came in, he didn't, as we know, he didn't just change the team, he changed the whole ethos. He got them to pick up litter. He got them, you know, to really think about values and beliefs, and that's so important. He changed the city. He changed how everyone felt. You know, you need that personality and everything to come in again. That's why I'm absolutely gobsmacked that Gracia was ever brought in. No offense, but I didn't like him from day one. I just couldn't take to him. Even when we won, I thought, you know, we scraped them wins. But you know, when things were going shit, you look on the sideline and Gracia is just there, like he's not passionate. There's nothing. Even Marsh was like loads better than him. Do you know what I mean? And that's saying something. When you look into the line and that's what you're getting your influence from, no wonder, you know, we're so bad. But
thing is, what gets me though, Tash, is how we've gone from Bielsa to now. Like the fact that, like you say, the whole ethos of the club has just disappeared. Like what happened to his sort of legacy? That do you know? Like we knew at the time to live in the moment because we knew that it was just a beautiful thing that Bielsa had done. He galvanized the whole city, really connected the community with the football club and the players, and everyone just loved living in that moment. So obviously when the results weren't going the way that we wanted to, obviously his job was going to be at risk and therefore he was sacked. But you'd think with the board looking at it and looking at what he'd done, they would want to keep that legacy going and keep moving in that direction. And it just seems like they've just slapped us in the face. They've slapped Bielsa in the face. They've just said, yeah.
They're really arrogant. That's how I think they are. They're so unbelievably arrogant.
Oh, Kinnear saying we're not going to dick around in the Premier League. Mate, you've been dicking around for the last 3 seasons and now we're basically going to be relegated.
I'm just going to put this up. This is what Radwazani put up at the end of last season. I don't want to have any more heart attack risks. I don't have any doubt that we'll avoid a situation similar to last season. It's impossible. I'm sorry, but you can't just make the statements like that, can you? When it's literally out of your control anyway. If things around you are all.
Even I totally agree with what you're saying there, but even like, was it the other week he was messaging fans on Twitter? What owner does that? Like, it's like children. It's like being in a playground.
And it was in the middle of and also the fact it was in the middle of the game.
I know.
What are you doing messaging fans in the middle of a football game that you should be watching? If you are not at the game, you should be watching the game. Like, it's so frustrating.
It's like, obviously, of course, none of us want Leeds to go down. None of us do. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. It'll be an absolute miracle if we stay in this Premier League. But at the end of the day, do you want to stay in the Premier League to go through this again next season? But I want Brad Bazzani and that to lose so much money because I think they're absolute clowns. But it's the fans. Inevitably, there's one person that suffer, and it's the fans. But I want them to lose loads of money because I just think they've absolutely played around with the Premier League and thought they were bigger than anything. And it's backfired again. 2 seasons on the trot.
Definitely. You could see they just got too big for their own boots. I think some of the players were like that, but you could definitely tell in the club they were like it. I think how they treated fans as soon as we went up was disgusting. And yeah, they need a really good clear out. Burnley, there was a Burnley fan who wrote, it was the best thing that happened to them getting relegated because they had a good clear out. But then the thing is, you think, well, yeah, but it's Leeds. We're going to stay down there for quite a while. If you think who's going to go down, Leicester, they're a good side. Southampton will be good. And then you got obviously Championship teams that come up. They then have a really good season, don't they? Normally, it's not going to be easy. We know how hard Championship is, and I actually prefer the Championship. I think it's a lot more competitive. I think it's a lot more unpredictable, and the fans are way better. The football stadiums are way better. Proper old school football, how I like. But it's just been so disappointing because we've waited 16 years. We didn't even really get to experience the promotion because we weren't there. We couldn't run on the pitch doing it. That's malarkey.
We couldn't experience in ninth either because we couldn't be in the grounds.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, as soon as we're back, maybe we're all the bad omens, we need another lockdown again.
It's just Leeds, though, isn't it? Like, people say, when I always say to people it's Leeds, like, oh, you're just saying that because it's the club you support. I'm like, no. It's like, I truly believe somewhere down the line this club was
thing, isn't it, Hannah? Because I honestly think because I hear other teams saying, oh, that's a proper typical West Ham thing to do. It's like, no, when we say it's a Leeds thing, it is legit a Leeds thing, and you just know it's all going to go to shit.
So we'll talk about the game itself then. So, we've already mentioned that, as soon as it's in our hands, we like to F it all up. Is there anyone that stood out to you that you thought, actually, let's try and look at some positives here, that played quite well? I mean, I really like Rasmus. I thought he stood out well, and obviously Rodrigo with a goal, who did quite well. I thought Bamford actually did all right until he. But yeah, is there anyone to you? Any positives from that
game? Yeah, I mean, I do critique Bamford, but you could totally see when he goes off, he does hold the ball up well. It's just his finishing product, isn't it? Rasmus, yeah, I agree, but I think it's really, I don't think Jack Harrison should have gone off. Sorry, my thingy has just gone funny. I don't think Jack Harrison should have gone off. I just think you're picking a good thing out of a bad bunch. I mean, yeah, Rodrigo scored. It was a good goal, by the way. Props for that. But then he just looked so leggy and tired, I thought. I think if you'd have put somebody in front of that game who didn't really know football and said which team played a couple of nights ago in like a European game, you would have thought it was Leeds.
We'll probably be hungover still.
You know what I mean? But yeah, Rasmus, but I still think they're all just, they're not good enough. They're not good enough for this league.
I think Joel Robles, he's been exceptional these last 3 games that he's come in. And it actually makes you question, why hasn't he actually come in sooner? Because maybe he could have saved our asses a lot, even though our defence was shocking. he could have saved our arses a lot more.
Yeah, definitely. Like, why wasn't Melia dropped before that? Yeah.
We say that about quite a lot, like Matt McKennie on throws. Why has he just suddenly gone on throw-ins?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he has got, I mean, he's American, isn't he? So he's going to have a good throwing. But like, why is that only just suddenly come in? But he's got a hell of a throw, but yet we've only just seen that the past couple of weeks.
Yeah. It's since
I do agree with the Robles thing, though. He's made such a difference. It's just a shame that he wasn't in goal in April.
But I think, but I think in regard, if everything gets cemented next week and we are relegated, I could see him being our number one for our first championship season.
I'd take that, to be fair.
I really would. I'd take him because also that is despite the fact that Melee is going to be off. Like, we all know he's going to be off. But despite that fact, he should be number one because I think he deserves it, especially what he's done these last 3 games, because we could have conceded a lot more goals had he not been in the net, because some of his saves have been incredible.
Yeah, definitely. So that leads us on nicely then. So who would you save? I think it would be quicker to say who we'll keep out of the bunch rather than who we want to go. Who would you save?
As in keep to go down to the championship with?
Yeah, if we go to championship, yeah.
The keeper and the rest can go. No, I'm being genuine.
We wouldn't.
No, because the thing is, half the ones that I probably would want to keep are going to go anyway because they think they can. They think they deserve to be in the Premier League still. Because we all know Jack Harrison's going to get sold. Robin Koch is wanting to go to Newcastle or Spurs. You know, them lot, even though Robin Koch doesn't even deserve to stay in the Premier League, but you know, he's got, you know, they're all going to create moves into the Premier League. Honestly, Joel can stay, the rest can get on the bike, because it's just, we just need to go back to basics with our players. Like, we really need to actually look at seeing who we can get in the championship that are wanting to come to Leeds and are wanting to give it a good go for us to go back to the Premier League.
I just can't see
it. I would keep Adams, I'd keep Voba, I'd probably keep Rodrigo, Nonto and Solid. I like all them.
No, I know. I like Adams too. I want Adams. He's not going to stay. I'm being too realistic about it. But if I had my way, yeah, I'd keep Adams, I'd keep Voba, but they're all going to go.
I think out of all the players that have recently come in, I think Adams, maybe Rasmus, but I think Adams has really feels Leeds. I think he's more passionate one out of everyone. So I think he might stay. And obviously he's injured at the minute as well. But obviously he's playing international, so yeah. But I've just said who we'd like to say. I didn't say who was going to probably go. Hannah, who we like to say?
In who I'd obviously like to keep is I'd like to keep Adams, Sinistera. It's really difficult, isn't it? When right now I can't stand every single one of them. I don't know. I'd love to keep Sinistera. Oh, Somerville. He's another one. I think he's Gonanto. As much as I think some fans are I think they expect too much of Gonanto myself. But they'll all go. A lot of them will go. And to be honest, right now I'd let them go the way I feel about them. So, but yeah, realistically, we're going to be kept with the likes of Bamford. I mean, Forshaw, Ayling. I think Robles will stay. Dallas, but I miss Dallas. I just miss him. I just think he just gets it. And I know people say Ayling gets it, but I don't know. I don't know.
I'm just so annoyed. I mean, yeah, like I say, like people say Ayling gets it, but I'm just like, does he?
I do agree with them comments about Sinisterra, though. He's extremely injury prone. I do get it. He was, even before he come to Leeds, like I knew about that. It's just, he just offers that something. He's just like a bit like, not saying he is a Rafinha, because, you know, before
I
people
was thinking that just now when you say it, yeah.
But I just wish we could have Rafinha back just for like a couple of games this season.
I want Pablo back.
Yeah, or Berardi.
I want a Berardi back. That's what I want. I want a Berardi back.
Passionate players. Like, it was 2 years ago today that, you know, Berardi and Pablo had their farewell, you know, and we just, even like sort of Janssen, I know he was a bit of an ass, but he was passionate, you know. I just want someone who knows Leeds, gets Leeds, feels Leeds, and, you know, goes in and fucking bollocks them at half time and say, get your heads up, what you doing? You know, I think at half time next game, they need to get a fan in that bloody dressing room.
I say this every week, Tash. I say it on the spot. I say the same thing as you there every week, because they need to understand what it means to the normal working class person that pays week in, week out, and spends their Saturdays, let's be fair, watching an absolute you know what. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They need someone in there to say, "Come on."
I mean, also it's not only, well, it's like you say, Hannah, it's the price of a season ticket. First off, if you're not a season ticket holder, if you manage to get hold of a ticket, you're looking at £100+ a day, you know, £100 upwards, just to go watch Leeds, because you've got to pay for your tickets before, you've got to pay for your food, you've got to go see a shower shite, then you come back and then you drink and
that's exactly what you've just hit the nail on the head
there. Away, so obviously you're paying out even more money, and
we're actually going down to Kent for the bank holiday weekend, and we're going down Friday. Jack's coming up Sunday morning to go to the Tottenham game. You know, that just says it all, doesn't it? Like, you know, traveling 300 miles to see us on the same day, he's going to be knackered, you know, on the same day that we're pretty much guaranteed to be relegated, and he's still making all that effort, you know. And you just need, like someone mentioned here, where's it gone? Yeah, Clip. He scored again the other day, yesterday, I think. My mate's actually really good mates with me. Text him, and he's just put like, you know, sad face and that, and he still cares. You see him like meeting up with Leeds fans out in America and watching the games and stuff like that. You need people like that. Like, maybe since he's gone, it's all gone even more downhill. You know, just whatever happened at that Palace second half, it's just, which actually bring someone, I don't know who said it, but someone's mentioned about in that Palace game we were fighting. You know, we were gonna, if we had won that game, it would have been 32 points. We're on 31 points now, 7.5 games later. It's
we said exactly the same thing when we were watching the game there about Click. When you've got probably one of the worst midfields going, why? Well, I think Click went because of Marsh. But why on earth you would have let Click go when he just gets it? But I think he just wasn't getting enough minutes, was he? No, but we said exactly the same thing when we were watching that. Why have we not got Click?
Yeah, someone's put here, we're gonna get 10% refund on our season ticket. You do know that will just be a voucher right back to the club. That's not, we're not seeing that money. It'll be, you know, I'll be stupidly buying for the next Leeds stuff and everything like that.
Yeah, just bring. Do you know, this is probably going to open up a little kind of worms here, but this is something that really did. 1 second, my laptop keeps going funny. That really did get to me the past couple of weeks. Do you know that whole thing with that fan and the Leeds players and stuff like that? That just absolutely blew up the internet. Mm-hmm. Well, we're there every home game, and it's the thing is they do it every home game though. It's always the same ones. So I don't understand, like, even that to me says a lot about what it's like behind the scenes, because it's always the same ones that never really come out. Do you know what I mean? Mm. And that really got to me, that, because I know it was very edited and still some players did go over to obviously the fans and stuff, and it was edited the way it was, whatever. But the past like couple of months and stuff, it's been very much like that at the ground. And I keep saying all the time, like it to me, that speaks volumes about what it's like behind the scenes. Obviously, we don't see that.
No.
Yeah.
You know?
You got to try and relate it. Like, I think football, this goes to show that it's 100% like mentality, isn't it? Like, sometimes it just doesn't even matter about your ability. Like I work in the NHS. Rhiannon works in the NHS. Morale is very fucking low in the NHS, and you think like, I get fed up sometimes of thinking like, it's just the same stuff all the time. Why does everything take so long? Or like, you look at certain people that you work with and you think, oh my God, just do your work. You're just still in a living, right? And you think these players might look at other players and think, you're still in living. I keep passing you that ball. You keep missing. But that's 2 years of it. Like, I'll get on my down days like now and again and things like that at work, but that's like 2 years consecutive of putting up with that shit. And like,
And the
yeah,
thing
how
is,
do you bring that morale in?
well, this is like you say, Tash, it's very weirdly relatable, because if you think about like the kind of pressures that we're under is weirdly quite related to how players would feel with the fans' pressure, with everything going on. And obviously, I know that it's probably much more public, obviously, because of social media, and they get called out on all sorts. And like you said earlier, death threats and that and stuff is not acceptable. Like, you need to get your head out of your, what, and be a proper person and be
exactly. Our team, right?
But by the by, it's like I say, we deal with a lot of pressure on a day-to-day basis.
Like my team, we went from, because of resources, we went from a team of 13 down to 3. I've stepped up and I've made sure that every bit of work we've done is not wasted. And I'm always like, right, I'm going to lead now. I'm going to take this on myself and do this, that, and the other. You step up. What players are stepping up here? And it's even a bit of a joke about like the captain. I just don't think Aileen should be captain, but obviously Cooper doesn't really play anymore. But you just think what players are going in there and getting the best out of everyone. Because you got our captain Aileen sitting there arguing with fans on social media, creating a more divide.
There's no leaders in that team, and at the end of the day, it's in like a relegation dogfight. It's more mentality and fight and drive than anything else. And like you say, like look at Forest, look at Everton, they're doing it. You can't knock them for that because they are doing it. Tyler Adams to me has got a captain written all over it, but obviously he's injured, of course. He's injured, of course. We were going to lose him at the end of the season. But yeah, Aileen shouldn't be captain. You see it though, like when you're watching the game and like you're like, why is no one just screaming at them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's just like they're just getting about the day. And I get like the pressure thing. I totally get that. But at the end of the day, like, we're all just normal working class people and there's pressures in every jobs, but we're not rewarded and paid the way they're paid.
No.
So they should be able to do it because they're rewarded very well. They'll be going home tonight to the lovely house. They'll be going home to the lovely car. But the working class person that's paid all that money to go to London, who's probably skinted themselves for the week to go and watch that crap.
The thing is, as well, Hannah, like, I agree with what you're saying. I know you're right. I agree. I 100% agree with what you're saying. But they also have sports psychologists. I just want to put it out there. They have sports psychologists available to them that they can talk about which personal life, football life, being professional. They can talk about their mental state. They can talk about anything, and they get help. If with a working class person doesn't get that, do they? We have to go through certain systems like GP services, X, Y, and Z, and we get put on a waiting list, and we wait a year to be seen to talk about our own mental health. But they have sports psychologists X, Y, and Z on tap. I can't understand what even happened after the half time on that Crystal Palace game.
Yeah, something's definitely gone on there.
That they just fell apart. We were 1-0 up, and we lost 5-1. Like, how?
I think they look like big babies. I really do. I think they just look like big babies who've just spat the dummy out. And at the end of the day, like, people can like laugh all you want, but Leeds United are like, I'm sure I speak for everybody when I say this, but they're not just a football club. They're like my life. Leeds United are dependent on how I feel on a weekend. They're dependent on my mood. They're dependent on hundreds of thousands of other people's moods. And at the end of the day, right, they don't even go out and try. And that is the problem, right? All this money, like I give up. I don't even live in Leeds. I give up my weekend to come to Leeds all the time. And it's the fact that I'm a normal working class person, and it's all this money and stuff, and they don't even give a shit. They're just out there. I mean, McKennie just strolls around like he's off. He didn't even ever want to be here, to be fair. But it's just like all these fans traveling home from London now, and it's just like, but they're going to go home now, get in the nice cars and goes home. I mean, they've not even cared. They don't care.
That's the thing. If you compare this season to last season, you had Rafinha, and he was off. But he still fought till the end. Do you know what I mean? We don't really have that anymore. And going back to the captaincy, I would say I would have given Rodrigo it, because he just turns into an absolute animal when he has that band on him. In the past.
I also think that this leadership council thing was the worst thing possible. And like how they feel that was needed. The fact that you've got Bamford, Ayling, Cooper, and 2 others. I think Rodrigo and someone else. Like, why do you need 5? Why do you need 5 team members to go and talk to a boss? Why can't it just be the old way that works fine? You've got a vice captain, a captain, and that captain will pass on any grievance, anything to the manager. And then they talk it out amongst themselves, and then the captain comes back and relays all information. And that is your go-to person. It's like having your big boss, your line manager, and yourself. Do you know what I mean? I don't see why you need 5 line managers vying, basically hanging on managers and basically saying, this is the way it's going to be because we don't like it this way, so it's going to happen this way, and we're not just going to listen to you. That's what it feels like. It feels like they've got too much of a voice. And yes, everyone should have a voice. Even like in any job, any dog's body should have a voice. But there's ways of going about it to air grievances, to talk about things. And I just think it's just gone a bit mad at the club.
Yeah. It's embarrassing, I think. Obviously we're Leeds fans here, but from an outsider, I mean, I know people who say to me, like, I've got nothing against Leeds, but it's quite embarrassing. It is embarrassing. I mean, to me, I know it's totally going off topic here, but we should never have appointed Jesse Marsh. I don't understand why that was a good idea. But, like, it's just embarrassing from top to bottom how it's run. Like what Rhiannon said there with the leadership council, it's just so Jesse Marsh, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like we don't. Honestly,
he was
negative. Do you know what? I'm just so angry, and I hear every single one of them. Every single one of them, I absolutely despise because they don't even go out and care. They don't even give a shit. And it's the only people that suffer are the likes of me and you and Tash and all of them other fans out there, and they don't even care. And you see teams like Forest and Everton, and watch, no doubt Leicester will go tomorrow night and win. And then we're just sat here like this. Oh, sorry, girls. I'm just
No, you're fine, Hannah. That's what I'll jump in and just say is the fact that Victor Orta was basically chatting to Jesse for a whole year. It just stinks. It's rotten.
I'm sorry, if you've got that whole year, why are you not talking? If you're going behind his back,
this is it.
Loads of people then.
But the thing is, my point is that you've had this man lined up. You know what this man is like as a manager. It stinks because you have willingly chosen someone you knew wasn't gonna be up to Bielsa standard. You knew don't give me all this crap that you came out with saying, oh, he's got a similar philosophy to Bielsa. He freaking didn't.
Why don't they put as much effort in going and looking for a proper number 9? Do you know what I mean? You go and do a record signing in January. I've not seen him.
I don't want 10 wingers.
Minutes.
I don't want 10 wingers.
Or like
But
the defense wouldn't
make
me laugh. We put us in a League One game, we'd get beat because our defense is laughable.
But I know you say about Marsh and that, but we had the best run in a cup game with him, and then as soon as Gracia came in, we obviously lost and things like that. I'm not backing Marsh or whatever. I think we should have got someone in way better than Marsh, but I think under Marsh it was like we played well, we just couldn't score, and I felt sorry for him at the end of that. But you see how much like he wasn't that bad compared to when Gracia came in, because then literally everything just went tits up. There was no personality in the team, nothing, absolutely. Every tiny thing that we have ever had that was good is just literally gone now. And like going back to what you said about Everton, they had 10-minute injury time. We have 7. They got a fucking goal in that. We concede. There is no fight whatsoever. There's no fight, no determination, no passion, nothing there. And people are mistaking that they're running around as passion and that they care. No, they're just trying to look busy so they don't like get even more shit. Do you know what I mean? They're not. There's them fucking sliding tackles and getting stuck in. And why have you let them run pretty much all the way to the final third before you start defending? Where's that midfield? Where is that midfield? Why are you not closing them down? Why are you giving us so much gap? We go to the final third and it's like trying to get through a fucking brick wall. We just cannot break anyone down. Everyone gets back. When we've got the ball, you get West Ham and there's like 3 players surrounding our player straight away. We just let him run anywhere. Go on. Go through.
That goes back to the recruitment, doesn't it? Brutal. The recruitment is brutal. It's like
I'm so angry. This is very cathartic, but at the same time, I'm that angry. I'm literally tearing up. I just want to scream in their effing faces because they are really peeing me off now. Like, this is not the team. This is not what the board said to us. Do you know what I mean? They freaking was all freaking fireworks and everything, saying, "Oh yeah, we're not going to dick around in the Premier League. We're going to do this. We're going to do that." But instead, they're giving us a pile of shit. I'm sorry, but it's true.
He needed a big backbone and realised who is wasting your money. I'm sorry, but if I were giving someone loads of money and they've absolutely splashed it on a load of fucking shit, I'll be like, get your bags gone straight away. Why is he giving him another whole season? He should have been gone after last season. Why? And like you say, he's got a record-breaking signing. I feel sorry for him. You've just ruined his career. You've absolutely ruined that poor guy's career. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready at all. And
oh God, there's one magpie. Isn't one magpie?
You need to salute it, Hannah. Salute it.
Isn't it for like bad luck on magpie? I'm sure it is. Anyway, do you know
one magpie is bad luck. You need to salute it to counteract it.
I need more than that. Do you know the thing that gets to me more than absolutely anything when it comes to Leeds United, right? And this again, it goes back to arrogance of the board because they've just absolutely gambled our Premier League status. The thing that gets to me more than anything is I feel like they put more effort into the academy, into the under-21s and blah, 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 blah. We are not a stable Premier League club.
Yeah.
We are not. So why don't you focus on the here and now? And not so much on the unders because good. I mean, they're the only shining light of this shit show. Let's be fair, but why? I mean, Rutter, if he wasn't ready, why on earth go and spend all that money on him then?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's laughable, isn't it? And I feel like as a Leeds United fan, like other probably opposition fans don't understand it, but it's just embarrassing. We're in the Premier League, the best league in the world. And they're going out and getting a project in January when we're fighting relegation.
It feels like the wool has been pulled over our eyes. like I honestly think the way that they've sold these players to us has been complete lies. I mean, why buy a player for what 35 million and he's not even going to feature in the first team?
Yeah,
I put him in the under-21s the other night. He scored, didn't he? I mean, I feel sorry for the bloke. I really do feel sorry for him. I don't know what's appealing about coming to Leeds United. I don't, and I feel like but it's just, how can you not be negative?
We've got a Forest fan here as well, and it's like, look at Forest the other day against Arsenal. They showed up. When we set out against Arsenal, we set out a team that just wasn't even good enough for a cup game, like a shit cup game. Do you know what I mean? Like when you normally put out your B side or whatever against some League One team. That's what we did against Arsenal.
We
just like fell down from side. This is what annoyed me as well when we had Gracia come in. It was that we weren't just getting beat. We weren't just getting hammered 5-6-0 around the teams that, you know, the top 6 or anything like that. It was against people that were around us, which for me was when I thought, that's it. We're completely done now.
With the Palace game, it was the most game of two halves I think I've ever seen with my own eyes. Because when we went in at half time against Palace, we could have comfortably gone in 3-4, and then we come out, and I have no idea. Something has definitely gone on, because I don't know what happened, because we just absolutely just crumbled in that second half, and since then it's just all gone to shit. So something has definitely gone on.
Yeah.
Thing is, right, going back to what you were saying about like 5-6-0, Tash, I was just thinking now, when was the last time this season that we actually scored like, you know, that kind of comfort?
All I remember is Chelsea 0. That's all I can remember.
At home, what? Second game of the season, we won 3-0. That is it. How bad is that?
Yeah.
They're just. I mean, obviously, like the deterioration, I think, started when Bielsa got sacked. It definitely did, mentally anyway. You know how he was so solid as a unit under Bielsa?
I think it happened before then. I think it started when we saw Bielsa put Tyler Roberts on every single game, stuck with the same sort of crap that wasn't getting us any points. I think that's when we started mentally all, you know, like I think that's when the players as well, they just couldn't even string a pass together, even like under Bielsa. That's when it all started. It was when they stopped doing the basics. You know, under Bielsa, it's always that quick football, like quick passing and things like that.
Yeah.
Do that anymore.
I just think for me, it all boils down to, it's difficult because you can't just pinpoint one particular thing, but I think it all boils down to me to squad depth.
Yeah.
The choices of who we've brought in as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think, I mean, even with Bielsa, you've got to think, if you remember that City game, what was it? What did we get beat? 7-0? Was it 7-0, I think? Just it was the month it got sacked.
Yeah.
The bench, what would you have, McKinstry and stuff on the bench against Manchester City in the Premier League? Can you remember that bench? And it was just squad depth, it's the recruitment, it's all of that. I just feel like you've just totally rested on your morals and you've chanced your luck. The squad isn't good enough. Never mind concentrating on the future. You need to keep us in the Premier League.
Why did they throw in all that money under Marsh, who's not proven anything to us? He wasn't, you know, he meant nothing. Why didn't you do that earlier? Why when it's too late? And then it's like trying to put glitter on shit, isn't it then? You know, just not gonna just invest in the person who got us up, and you know, who they were willing to fight for. And like a lot of comments on here, we lost our identity. We had an identity, you know. A lot of people said that they would rather have gone down with Bielsa and then gone back up again with him. I mean, it would never set in stone how long Bielsa would have stayed with us anyway. He used to always just do 1-year contracts, didn't he? But I used to get really annoyed by that because I used to think, no, you know, club first.
I don't agree with that comment either. I'm with Tash there. I love Bielsa and I'll forever be grateful and I'll forever love the man. But I love Leeds United more than I love Marcelo Bielsa. And yeah, people say, oh, I'd rather have gone down with Bielsa. But yeah, okay then, but he would never have stayed. He'd have gone. So it's like...
I think he was due to leave that season anyway, regardless of whether we were in the Championship or whether we were in the Premier League. I honestly think he would have finished that season and then that'd be that. But we sacked him for it. So just
I think what like pisses me off more is that, like, you know, we nearly won the Championship, then we won the Championship, then we went 9th in the Premier League, and it was just like, wow, oh my god, what more can we do? And then it was just like, boom, crashed
to reality.
And we also, as well, it's the most Leeds United thing ever is we kind of missed out on it all. I remember the last game of the season, of the promotion season, I was at Ellen Road and obviously everyone was outside, but we even missed out on all of that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just so Leeds United that happened. I just think with the Bielsa thing, I think we just need to we're always going to be appreciative of what he done for a club, but he's never going to come back. And I just feel like sometimes we just need to sort of move on from it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I wonder how, if we're down next Sunday, what do you think the fans are going to...
I'm dreading it. I'm honest to God dreading it. Mentally, I'm dreading it. Because you don't even get signal in Ellen Road anyway, so you're not going to know what's going on elsewhere.
That's true.
It's going to be brutal.
Yeah.
It very much depends on, it'd be interesting if we did actually pull something out of the bag next week. I doubt it, but it could happen, being a Leeds way. But if by, I don't know, the slimmest of slim chances that Everton lose and we actually get a result, it really does depend. It's going to be on such a knife edge, isn't it, during that whole game, because no one's really going to know what's going to happen. And if we stay up, then obviously it would be the best place to be at, isn't it? It's going to be the best place to be at. But if not,
I just don't think we're going to get.
I fear for the players because it's going to be so tough.
I don't think we're going to get lucky 2 years running.
No.
I don't. And people say, well, Everton, but Everton have showed a bit more fight than us. We haven't.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is way worse than last season.
We're down. I am absolute. If we stay up, it will be an absolute miracle. And if we stay up, it'll be amazing and all that. But if we're going to stay up to just go through this crap again next year, I think I'd rather go down because I can't.
I'd rather be in Championship, being able to win games, you know.
It's got to the point this season, though. It's literally got to the point this season where I've not wanted to even go. Like when we were at Leicester at home the other week, which was just an absolute nightmare for me because it all went a pot at Leicester at home for me. So I didn't all day. I was like, I don't even want to go. And obviously, like I've got to finish early from work to get to Leeds and stuff like that. And anyway, I shouldn't have gone, right, because my car broke down. So I was like stuck in Ellen Road car park till like 5 o'clock in the next morning. And then I got home. It was like an absolute shit show from the get-go. So then voices all that day telling me not to go. I should have listened to them because I never feel like that. I love going. It's like my happy place. But this season, especially the past few months, I've not wanted to go because it's depressing.
Yeah, I felt like that with away games. I think obviously it's going to be shit anyway, but the crowd's been shit. I think, you know, there's not much to sing about anyway, but I just think that the atmosphere's been dog shit. I think the banter is a lot funnier in Championship. And I prefer stadiums in the Championship as well, if I'm honest. Because when you go, like, I stopped going because I hated like the likes of going to Tottenham, and you can't even hear your own fans singing. The fact that we can only take 3,000 fans pisses me right off as well. And yeah, I prefer Championship in that way as well.
Yeah, it's more fun, the Championship, isn't it? But I feel like unless you've been in a Championship as a football club, like, you don't appreciate how hard it is to get out of it. And especially if you're Leeds United, because whenever it's Leeds United, they just seem to turn up. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like a little cup final for everybody. So I feel like it's even harder for us, but it's just inevitable. It's going to be coming, isn't it? So
yeah. Well, I think we've said it all. I think we've had every rant about anything else you girls want to say.
I just think it's a shit.
Yeah, this is it. Like, we could just talk and talk and talk about how shit it all is, can't we? Until we're blue in the face or red in the face, whichever way you want to go. But it's just...
It wouldn't be so bad if the players actually look like they give a shit.
Yeah.
But they just don't give a shit. None of them give a shit. None of them, literally none of them give a shit. None of them quite understand what the club is to people.
Yeah, what it means to us. Like you say, they'll just come and go, but we're all here.
You know, we're the ones that are going to suffer. I mean, there's no way. There is absolutely no way we're going to go down the Championship and then going to bounce back. We're not.
But the thing is, as well, Hannah, is you'd think, wouldn't you, that players such as Ayling, Cooper, basically the old guard, would actually look like they gave a shit, because this could be their last chance that they play in the Premier League. If they're so desperate to play in the Premier League, right, you'd think they'd put more effort in to stay. But again, they don't seem to give a shit either.
But you know, just on what you've said there as well, I completely agree with you. And this is nothing on Forshaw, because I feel like Forshaw has actually played well, but obviously he's injury prone to death and he can't play a full 90 minutes. But we are on our third season in the Premier League and we are still starting a game with the likes of Forshaw, with the likes of Ayling. That to me just absolutely sums up what the problem is here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't be doing that. We should have built on a good thing and we didn't. We just got arrogant. And we just got comfortable and we got pig-headed and it's just going to totally backfire. And when we go down next Sunday, because I fully believe we're down, I just think we're not in red yet, but I do think we're down. And everyone's going to laugh at us and everyone's going to go, oh, Leeds are falling apart again and all that crap. But I do feel like, I hope Radrazani feels an absolute tit for what he tweeted before the season, because you should never say it's impossible to go down, especially when you've got... Especially with the recruitment that we've done. I mean, can I just say a thing here, right? Brendan Aronson. Oh, my word. Can we just please just agree that he is... I mean, I don't even think he'd stand in. In fact, I think he'd be even worse in the Championship. Because of the...
Yeah, because they're harder in the Championship.
I just can't even get on him. I can't even get on him. Sorry, girls. I'm just so pissed off today. I'm sorry for the language. I'm just so angry. Why am I can't cope? Hate Leeds United. I do often wonder why my dad didn't take me to, like, I don't know, dancing or something. You know, he took me on the road. Hate him for it.
This is supposed to be our therapy, Hannah. Like, this should be cathartic. Like, we need to
this is my counselling.
We don't get therapy. This is our therapy.
I just hate them, and I'm sure you all feel the same as me. They are an absolute bunch of shit shows.
I do think we were recruited really shit, but at the same time, it's like when I saw Brendan Aronson, I got really excited. I thought he was the one that was going to be the standout player this whole season. And then it was like, okay, it's not working out. So Rasmus, I was like, right, he looks like a Vinnie Jones variety kind of vibe. And he was like, okay, you're not even very good.
I never thought of it like that.
Like, he plays in the national team. You'd think he'd have something about him, wouldn't you? Because they got
and a bit of like Janssen about him as well, and all them players kind of mixed into one. I thought, yeah, he looks like, you know, he was like, and it just looked exciting. And then it was like, okay, it was all going a bit shit again. And then we recruited finally in January, and it was like, we've got Vobra. Okay, he looked very good, and he is very good. And then it's like, we've got, Nonto, even though at the time was all like, oh, what the fuck. But yeah, Nonto was like on fire. His link up with Somerville was absolutely amazing. We still got Sinisterra's come back, got Rodrigo, you know. We was like, attacking wise, we looked like we were going to be fucking amazing. And then you got Adams, yeah, that's really good. He's replaced Phillips, you know, and I think he's better than Phillips. And so you have that about you as well. So you're like, why is it going so bloody wrong? But they've just not got the skills when you look in just obviously the manager and everything, but there's just something else just not going right. And I said it, I think under Bielsa, I think I came on live and I said it. I said there's just something really, really off, and I don't know what it is. Can't put my finger on it, but they're just not gelling. And I think we all said it in the Leeds Lasses as well. Like, just don't know. I would love to just be a fly on the wall, you know. Yeah, Adam's injury killed us. It is, but yeah, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in like half time or something, especially that Palace game. I'd love to have seen what actually went down. But I'd love to just go up to the players and be like, "Why? What are you fucking doing?"
Like, I actually would like to hear that response. I'd go up and say, "Why? Why have you let it do this? Why have you not done anything about it? Why are you showing up and not look like you're putting in any effort whatsoever? Why, as you as a professional footballer, look like you cannot play football? Make that make sense."
I'll take you a pass. Where's the second man all the time?
Because I need to why are you being paid X amount a week to actually look like you cannot play football? Because God forbid, I would love to be paid what you're paid right now.
I think I could do better. But Jesus, like, I would love to just be able to have the chance to actually sit down and speak to him. I think I can't remember where it was, but they did do that once, didn't they? They let the fans speak to the players. Am I just imagining that? I swear that's happened before.
I wish they'd let that happen now. Now, isn't it? To be fair, I don't think I'd want to speak to them the way I feel tonight, to be honest. They'd think I was all right. I'm just angry. It wouldn't be so bad if they were at least... I get a bit envious, like, at other teams. I was like, it wouldn't be so bad if they were at least trying. But they don't even try.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what will happen next week, right?
But we're not doing that.
We'll go and beat... So to be fair, this will be a miracle in itself. We'll go and beat Tottenham, but Everton will win. That's what'll happen. Yeah. That's just the most Leeds United thing ever.
That's what I said in the group chat. I was like, you know, we'd end up winning, and then Everton will win, and then it would be, and then I'd be asking, well, why did you go last week when you could have actually done something about it? Because it was in our hands. Yeah, Wolves, Everton, like what 100th minute or whatever, scoring an equaliser. I'm just like, man, this is ridiculous. But it was still in our hands today, and we've just let it slip. And I just want to know, like, what they were thinking.
Yeah, there was no way, especially that second half. And it's like when you went 1-0 up, that's another thing that really frustrates me. You go 1-0 up and you just sit back as if like...
Like 3-0 up, 4-0 up. No, you keep the gas on, you keep your foot on the pedal and keep trying to go for that second and third goal. Do not rest, like I say, don't rest on your laurels. At the end of the day, we are in a relegation fight.
Yeah, they do that though, don't they? I mean, you can't. The thing with Leeds as well is even when we score, I don't even get excited anymore because I just feel like, oh well, we're just gonna go up the other end and concede anyway. Do you know what I mean? So
it's just like as soon as that second one went in, I was just like, well, I saw the first one come in. I was like, we took our foot off the pedal, and like you said, we sat back so much, and you see like Big Sam was like shouting to Pascal, get out, get out. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't believe how fucking far we sat back and just let them get in it. We was all over them. You know, we actually played really well for the first like 30 minutes, and then just...
You know what I think's sad? I think it's sad the fact that you've seen players really play out of their skin whilst under Bielsa, and then now they look a completely different player.
Yeah.
Because Pascal is one of them. I used to think Pascal was shit hot, like
and
nice now shit. I just think you're just a steaming pile of it because it's just.
That's another mistake we made. We should have literally forked out for Ben White. Why did we not pay that 60, million for Ben White? And just can you imagine Ben White and Rover and that? Just it would have been under Bielsa and whatnot. It just would have been so much fucking better. But again, like you say, we just built on cheap, and then we put in the money too late.
I'm very much of the thought that I don't really want to see a post-match interview, especially from players, because I'm not going to believe a word you say, because
it's just the same shit anyway. They say the same thing over again. It was like, remember that season when we were like, I think it was the one where the first season in Bielsa, and it was like, hands dropped up. We go again. Or was it before Bielsa came in? They just kept saying we go again. I hate that phase. It was oversaid, like it was just put on every player's social media. I saw
that. It's like, oh, shame we only got a point, but we go again. I'm like,
go again. You should have gone then. Well, I'm going to be dressed all in black next week for our funeral. I think we'll leave it at that.
Because I know. Yeah, exactly. We're just talking and just saying the same thing because we're so frustrated and so angry.
Yeah. Well, we'll leave it at that. I think Hannah will say goodbye from behind the scenes. I think our internet dropped out. But yeah, thank you for joining, and we'll see you guys in the championship. Bye.